Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, and a sincere peace and salutation to all you hopefully let Akim out there pushing his word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI has commanded you to do, so he can wake up and seal the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and you Israelites who are scattered amongst the heathen nations that may look like the heathen nations, but your father's seed line goes back to you being the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American, one of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Shalom. It's your brother Halakia from the GMS Denver camp coming back once again through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI with another video. And this time, this video is I'm going to go into America being Babylon the Great, because you have this bug out who keeps coming to the camp. At first he started off putting a comment on the comment board saying that America is not Babylon the Great, and I did a lesson after he said that and broke it down. Even asked him on the comment board, so if America is not Babylon the Great, where is it? So he comes out to the camp yesterday and proceeds to tell us that Rome is Babylon the Great. That doesn't add up to what the prophecies say. You see? Rome is not ruling the earth, man. Rome is not being used to pollute the earth and push all manner of wickedness. You see that coming from America, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. You see all the transgenderism. Hey, Rome has been around for centuries, and the earth has not been this bad until America became the #1 superpower on the earth. That's when you start to see all the madness come forth. The women's liberation, the alphabet community, all that madness come forth, and it has polluted the world, man. Why? Because America is Babylon the Great. Because he asked us, what is America the mother of? and just walked off. There's other countries ruling before. Yeah, okay, you got a point, but guess what? It wasn't as bad until America came into power. You see? He said, what is America the mother of? Walked out and walked off like he said some shit. So we're going to go ahead, Revelation 17, man. It says, Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. You see? The great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Now this is twofold. This is going into America being the most diverse country the world has ever seen before. You can find all nations and cultures here in this land, man. You see? That's one way she sits upon many waters. The waters being the people. Another way she sits upon many waters is how she has her military bases all throughout the earth, man. No country on the earth has as many military bases set up as America does, man. All these U.S. embassies in all these different countries. That's another way she sits upon many waters, controlling and dictating what goes on in these different countries. Rome is not doing that. You see? Rome is not doing that. Verse 2 says what? With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. You see that? And how do they commit fornication? By buying in to America's money system, man. This fiat currency. The U.S. dollar being the world reserve currency. That's another thing that shows you that Rome is not Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great's currency, America's currency, is the world reserve currency. Any trade you want to make, you see, you have to do it in U.S. dollars, man. Now we see it moving away from that. Why? It's because America's going down. But Babylon the Great, aka America, their currency is the world reserve currency, man. You want to buy oil, you want to trade and buy an oil, you have to use the U.S. dollar. And what do we see happen when these countries try to refuse the U.S. dollar and want to do it their own way? America makes up a bullshit ass story to be justified in going in to take down that leader, to put up a puppet leader, so they can play ball and use their U.S. dollar, man. That's how the kings of the earth have committed fornication with this great whore, man. That's one of the reasons. Buying into this bullshit ass money system. And it goes on to say, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. You hear that? Who is the inhabitants of the earth? The people of the earth. What's the wine of her fornication? All the wickedness that you see being pushed forth. All the so-called alternative lifestyles. You see, the first gay parade ever held was held here in America, man, in San Francisco. Now you're seeing gay parades being held all over the earth each and every year. You see? Everywhere you look. That stemmed from America, man. That's a part of her wine. That didn't come from the Vatican. That didn't come from Rome. You see? Look at the madness that America is pushing forth. You got transgenders in school teaching children. You got this nigga Lil Nas X on national TV kissing another man in the mouth. That stems from Babylon, man. And they're pushing that shit out to the world, and the world is eating that up, man. The inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. You see? And why is that? Let's get that real quick. Babylon. Jeremiah 51:7 says what? Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahawah's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. You hear that? What's the wine? The wicked doctrines and philosophies. You see that Esau is pushing forth from Babylon the Great. Not from the Vatican, not from Rome, man. Ain't nobody following the lead of Rome. They walk into the beat of America's drum, man. You see? America going through all throughout the earth, pushing for their democracy, man. That's another part of the wine of her fornication. Taking the heathen nations from their traditional ways and causing nothing but chaos in their countries, man. You see? And this is the working of the Most High. This is coming from all this madness, confusion, and chaos is coming from America, man. You see? It ain't coming from Rome. So that cuts that point, man. Rome is not the leader of nothing. America is calling the shots. You see? So it goes on to verse 3. It says what? So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Now this woman that's sitting upon that scarlet-colored beast is America. She's the woman that rides the beast. The beast is who? NATO and the EU. You see that? The beast is NATO. The 10 horns are the EU, the European Union, man. You see? Verse 4 says what? And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, representing what? Royalty, man. You see? A state of glory. It says what? And decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her head, and upon her forehead, was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. You hear that? This is talking about America. Look at all the wickedness that's coming forth in America, and look what it's doing to the earth, man. Look at what it's doing to the inhabitants of the earth. It's polluting the minds of the people. That goes into that abominable wine that she's pushing forth. The mother of harlots. You see? America's the one who made it okay for transgenders to be walking around here, man. For them to partake in women's sports. For them to partake in the Olympics. That was all bred because of America, man. That was all bred because of Babylon the Great. Who came up with the idea of Pride Month? America did. And now that shit has infested the whole world. Why? Because America is the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Same-sex marriages. Where did that come from? It stemmed from America. Now this is happening all throughout the world. Feminism stemmed from what? America. Now you got women rebelling against their husbands all throughout the earth. Everywhere that democracy is, that feminism follows, man. And that causes disorder and chaos. All that stemmed from America, not the Vatican, not Rome, man. You see? All this is happening because of America. So I just wanted to make that point real quick. Now, let's get Revelation 18 because it tells you exactly what it is, man. So, because we're gonna see if this is describing Rome or if it's describing another place in the earth. So Revelation 18:1 says what? And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So not only did he try to first what he did, he tried to say that Babylon the Great was talking about ancient Babylon. Now, and I told him, according to the prophecies, no, you know what? According to history, show us where fire rained from the skies upon ancient Babylon. Because ancient Babylon now is modern day Iraq. Show us where fire rained down from the skies and that land is not inhabited anymore. That's what it says about Babylon the Great. Then he tried to switch it and run and say it was Rome. You see how bugged out these people are? No, man. No. America is Babylon the Great. It's not ancient Babylon, because ancient Babylon went down with a preemptive strike by the Medes, man. Because according to the prophecies, once America is destroyed, or Babylon the Great is destroyed, it would never be inhabited again. So if it was ancient Babylon, you wouldn't have the war in Iraq, because that land would not be inhabited. So that cuts that point. America is Babylon the Great, man. Believe it or not. You see? So Revelation 18:2, it says what? And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, in a cage of unclean and hateful birds. That's like every unclean and hateful bird. That's what ancient Babylon should have been till this day. But that hasn't happened. Why? Because ancient Babylon is not Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great is America. It's somewhere different, man. Verse 3 says what? For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of fornication. You see that? Going into the wicked doctrines and philosophies that do as thou wilt spirit, that stem from Babylon. Do as thou wilt. That's Satanism was spewed forth from America. Do as thou wilt, man. Do whatever you want to do, and we see where that's taking the earth. All that came from Babylon the Great, America, man. Not the Vatican, not Rome, not ancient Babylon. It says what? And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, once again by buying into this wicked ass money system, man. You see, by making the U.S. dollar the world reserve currency, and they put themselves in the box now. They've given America all the power. Why? Because America is Babylon the Great, man. You see? So it goes on to say, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Now, are the merchants waxing rich because of Rome? Or are the merchants waxing rich because of America being the #1 consuming nation on the planet Earth? You see? Because America doesn't make anything. Everything they get is imported. It's bought in from different nations. Look at the shirt you got on now. I can guarantee you it wasn't made in America. You see, where you think your TVs are coming from, your cars are coming from, your Xbox, your PlayStation, your phone. You see? All that's being shipped in from different nations. That's how the nations are waxing rich, from the abundance of her delicacies, man. You see? Everything is being imported to America, and these merchants are getting rich You see? Verse 4 says what? And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that you receive not of her plagues. You see? That's what's happening right now. The remnant is being brought up out of the mind state of Babylon the Great. We're departing from the wicked ways of this place to return unto our Father through our brother YAHAWASHI. You see? So when that punishment comes, we won't have to partake in it because we've returned back to the righteous way, man. You see? Those plagues that are coming, a complete chaos and destruction the Most High is about to send. He's about to send fire down upon this place because that's what's written about. That's what's written to happen to Babylon the Great, man. You see? Verse 5 says what? For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. You hear that? For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. All the wickedness that this place has committed, man. All the blood that has been shed upon this place. How this place was founded. How this place was established, man. You see? The Most High has remembered that. And that's why you see America going down the way it is. Because it's time for this place to be punished. It's time for you people in this place to be punished. Verse 6 says what? Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. And the cup which she have filled, fill to her double. Talking about punishment, man. Judgment. You see? She's going to receive double for what she's done unto the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You see? And all these people that dwell in this land, they partook in it. Look how the nations live fat when they come over here, man. Because what? They're making money off of the Israelites. Ishmael all in your neighborhood owning all the gas stations. You see Moab coming over here, setting up his shit. They're all profiting off of the Israelites being in captivity. That's happening in Babylon the Great, man. You see? And it's happening all throughout the earth, but mainly here in America. You see? So it goes on to say, how much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. And that's what you people of America really think. So you hear the words that we're speaking, but you really don't believe them. That's why you don't want to accept the fact that America is Babylon the Great and that a great judgment is coming upon you people. You don't think no trouble is coming. You're being lured back to sleep with this jab. It's nothing but talks and peace and safety. And we know what the scriptures say about that, man. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. That's what's coming to America. You see, that's why the scriptures also tell you that the inhabitants of this land dwell without care, man. You see that careless city. You see? Verse 8 says what? Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is YAHAWAH bahasham YAHAWASHI who judgeth her. And that's what's coming to America, man. You see? That's what's coming to America. That's what we're prophesying each and every week on them highways and byways, each and every day when we do these videos. The death, downfall, and destruction of America. And this ain't nothing new. The prophets have always been doing this, man. Let's get Jeremiah 28:8. It says what? The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And he also said some Babylon the Great is a way of thought. No, Babylon the Great is a physical place that the prophets are going to be prophesying against. You see? And what are they going to be saying? They're going to be prophesying of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's what's coming to Babylon the Great. War, evil, and pestilence. You see? Chaos and confusion. Destruction. And that's all according to the will of the Heavenly Father YAHAWAH, man. Now when we go back, it says what? Revelation 18:8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day. Mourning and famine and she shall be utterly burned with fire. Now, when was ancient Babylon utterly burned with fire? Go back into the secular history and read. Babylon, ancient Babylon went down overnight. You see, it didn't go out by way of fire. That's the judgment reserved for America. Fire, man. You see? America's about to receive the greatest destruction the world has ever seen before. From what? From the hands of the Heavenly Father YAHAWAH. Now going back to Revelation 17, it says what? When you jump down, Revelation 17 and 15 says what? And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations of tongues. That great melting pot. Like I said before, America is the most culturally diverse place on the planet Earth. That goes into the many waters that she sits upon. Talking about the people. Verse 16 says what? And the 10 horns, which are the EU. You see? The European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. These are America's allies for right now, but when it's all said and done, you see, when it's all said and done, the allies of America is going to turn upon this place. And they're going to burn her with fire by way of what? By way of thermonuclear missiles, man. You see? That's what's coming. Verse 17, for the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will. You see that? The Most High is going to put it upon the European Union to destroy America, man. Because that's what his will is. It says what? And to agree to give a kingdom unto the beast, NATO, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city. The woman which thou sawest is that great city. Letting you know it's talking about a place. That great city. You see that? Which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Now, who's reigning over the kings of the earth? Babylon the Great, America, man. Like I said before, they have the world reserve currency. And that's great power in the earth right now. For right now. You see? Well, some shit going on. You can best believe America is right there to police it, man. Why? Because America is Babylon the Great, man. So going on, Revelation 18 and 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is YAHAWAH bahasham YAHAWASHI who judgeth her. You see that this judgment is coming from the Heavenly Father for what you have done unto his people. You see? Verse 9 says what? And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, that was in bed with America, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. When did this happen in ancient Babylon? It hasn't. You see? Because it's not talking about ancient Babylon. It's not talking about Rome. It's talking about America. The cash cow of the world, man. Verse 10 says what? Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. That great city, that mighty city. You see? Is Rome a mighty city? No. America has the greatest military the planet has ever seen before, man. You see? This is not talking about Rome. This is talking about Babylon the Great, America, man. This place is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. That's all it's going to take to destroy this place. 1 hour, man. Verse 11 says what? And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The cash cow of the earth is going to be utterly destroyed by way of fire, man. You see? America has made these heathen nations rich. And how did that happen? Because the Israelites are here having to go to their enemy for the one of all things, man. So everything that we're supplied, it comes from one of our enemies. That's how the nations were rich. That's who were buying the merchandise, man. Verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls, and of fine linen, and purple, and scarlet, and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves. How was America built up, man? How was America founded? Upon slavery, man. It says what? And the souls of men. Which Esau is continually gathering right now by having people take that damn jab, man. You see? By having people injected with that damn device, man. You know? With that MOTB. That's how he has the souls of men here in America. Verse 14 says what? And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off, for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold, and precious stones and pearls. You see? Because America is what? The richest country on the earth. You see? America is that golden city. Everybody is leaving their countries, or were leaving their countries to come do what? To live their American dream. They weren't leaving their countries to go live in Rome, man. Everybody was leaving their countries to come and live the American dream here in Babylon the Great. This is that great city, man. Verse 17 says what? For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught. 1 hour is what it's going to take to destroy this land from the east to the west, from the north to the south. 5,000 square miles of land will be completely engulfed in thermal nuclear fire, man. You see? Revelation 18:17, for in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster, and all the companies and ships, and sailors, and as many as trade by the sea, stood afar off. That's how the majority of America's merchandise is bought here, man, by way of ships, on the East Coast and on the West Coast, man. Shipyards full of big ass cargo containers full of merchandise, man. You see? America is basically a gigantic port city, man. Being surrounded by water from all the way up to damn Canada, all the way around down to Florida, the Gulf Coast, all the way down around Texas, all the way up to California, man. Water is surrounding this place. That's how America gets the majority of its merchandise into this land. By way of cargo, by way of ships, man. You see? It goes on to say, verse 18, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Exactly. What city is like unto America, man? You see? It's not talking about Rome, bro. That great city that ruleth over the kings of the earth is America. Verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. You see that? All that had ships in the sea were made rich by America, man. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. That's all it's going to take. Verse 20 says what? Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her. And that's exactly what this destruction is coming, man. For what you people have done unto us here in Babylon the Great. This is a punishment from the Almighty, man. You see, and it tells you that in Isaiah 34. And 5 it says what? For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, which are the Edomites, whose chief dwelling place is America. You see? And upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of YAHAWASHI is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For YAHAWASHI have a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Basra was the chief dwelling place in the land of Edom, Mount Seir. So now that America will be spiritual Basra. You see? Once again, the chief dwelling place of you Edomites. The land of Idumea, once again, that's talking about America. The chief dwelling place of you so-called white people who are the Edomites according to the Bible. The Most High has a great slaughter prepared for this land. And who was that slaughter? You people. All of you people outside of the remnant, you are that slaughter that the Most High is preparing. Verse 7 says what? And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness. For it is the day of Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. You see that? So this great judgment that's coming upon America is for what you have done unto the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Once again, how did you get this land? You see, that conquest started in 1492 when Christopher Columbus and his goons came over here, raped, robbed, and pillaged, man, committing mass genocide against the Hispanics and Native Americans. Then you had us brought to this land to build this country up by way of free slave labor, man. That's how America became the richest country on the planet. You see? So that's why that judgment is coming upon you. And that's just a few things that you people have done unto us. It's a whole, hey, like the scriptures tell you, her sins have reached unto heaven, man. Verse 9 says what? And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch. By way of what? Thermal fire, man. Nuclear fire. Verse 10 says what? It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste, and none shall pass through it forever and ever. It's the same thing it says about Babylon the Great, man. This is talking about the end of America. Going on, Revelation 18 and 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her. You see? By doing what? By destroying this place. Verse 21 says what? And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. So if it's ancient Babylon, when did this happen? If this is ancient Babylon, why do you have modern day Iraq? Why do you have the war in Iraq? Because modern day Iraq, ancient Babylon is modern day Iraq. So that cuts ancient Babylon being Babylon the Great. You see, that great city that's going to be thrown down to be found no more at all is America, man. You see? Verse 22 says what? The voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. You see that? Going back to what was said in what? Going back to what was said in Isaiah 34. It shall lie desolate from generation to generation. It shall never be inhabited forever. It's the same thing as saying in Revelation 18, man. This is talking about the destruction of America. You see, because America is going to be the greatest desert the world has ever seen before, man. Verse 23 says what? And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And that's what we see Esau working in the earth right now, man. Sorcery. By way of his pharmaceutical industry, man. You see? By way of his media, man. You see? His propaganda, his wicked agendas, man. That's how the nations were deceived. His science falsely so-called, man. Verse 24 says what? And in her was found the blood of the prophets and of saints, and of all that were slain upon the earth. Talking about the Israelites, man. You see? This land is soaked with the blood of the Israelites from the east to the west, from the north to the south, man. Now it's time for judgment to come upon this place. You see? So America is Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great is not Rome. It is not ancient Babylon. America is Babylon the Great, and this place has a great destruction coming upon it for what you have done unto the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The Israelites, according to the Bible. You see? So, hey, if you can't get it now, man, I don't know what to tell you, man. If you, hey, believe it or not, matter of fact, let's get this. Romans 3:3 says what? For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? YAHAWAH forbid. Yeah, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that thou mayest be justified in thy sins, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Just because you don't believe it, you don't want to accept it, don't change the fact of what it really is, man. You see? America is Babylon the Great, and the Most High has ordained for this place to be destroyed by way of 200 million thermonuclear missiles, man. And it's going to play out just exactly how the Most High said it was going to play out. You see? Hey, so with that, I'm going to give all praise, all honor, all glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, qadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth according to the Bible, through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, and a sincere peace and salutation to all you hopefully let Akim out there pushing his word in all truth and sincerity, doing the work as YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI has commanded you to do. With that, I'm going to say shalom, wa, abba, babal.